Neoclassicism refers to European art produced in the second half of the 18th century. It is sometimes called neoclassical art. It brings an end to the Baroque style, which flourished throughout the 17th century, and to Rococo art, which was popular in the first half of the 18th. Neoclassicism is about the revival of classical art and Renaissance art. The original classical style thrived in Greece in the 5th and 4th century BC. It was closely associated with Athens. In the 1st century, artists in Rome revived the classical Greek style. And in the 15th century, Florence embarked on the Renaissance. Artists were once again interested in ancient classical art, but they studied Roman monuments since Greek monuments were more difficult to access. So examples of Roman art, like this marble sculpture of the Roman goddess Venus, made in the 1st century, inspired many a Renaissance artist. The Italian Renaissance peaked around the year 1500. Some of the big names at this time were Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo da Vinci. 18th century neoclassicizing artists adored all three, but especially Michelangelo's sculptures and his paintings in the Sistine Chapel, like this one of God creating Adam. Neoclassicism also grew out of the rediscovery of Pompeii and Herculaneum in the 18th century. These two Roman towns were buried by a volcanic eruption in the 1st century. Excavations in the 18th century revealed many Roman wall paintings and sculptures. Some big names in Neoclassicism include Johann Joachim Winckelmann, who wrote about Greek and Roman art in a book titled The History of Art in Antiquity, published in 1764. Artists include Jacques-Louis David in France and Joshua Reynolds in England. We will be looking at a painting by French artist Elisabeth Vigée-Lebrun. Vigée-Lebrun was well known for her portraits and self-portraits like this one. She is usually associated with the French Rococo style. But in this painting, executed in 1780, she embraces the newer, more serious neoclassicizing style. Neoclassicism often makes references to ancient Greek and Roman symbols and mythology. Vigée-Lebrun's painting shows two female personifications known to the ancient Romans: abundance on the left and peace on the right. Peace leading to abundance and prosperity was a popular theme in Roman art in the 1st century. The two personifications can be identified by their attributes, that is, the things that accompany them. Abundance holds a cornucopia filled with fruit and flowers in one hand, and a bunch of wheat in the other. Flowers adorn her fair hair. Peace holds an olive branch in her right hand. The three basic characteristics of neoclassicism are naturalism, idealization, and restraint. First, naturalism. Another word for it is lifelike. Naturalism involves variety and depth. Variety is an awareness of differences. Variety can be found in how the two females vary in pose and dress. Abundance has fair hair and skin. She is dressed in a white gown and golden shawl. Peace has dark hair and a darker gown and shawl. Peace looks more active than abundance. She's embraced abundance with both arms, and her flying drapery is a traditional, therefore familiar way of indicating an active figure. Depth is easily conveyed by placing one figure in front of the other and having them overlap. Abundance is in the foreground and peace in the midground, so abundance is meant to be slightly closer to us. The second characteristic of the neoclassicizing style is idealization, or what is beautiful according to contemporary aesthetic standards. The faces and bodies of peace and abundance would be recognized as beautiful by Vigée Lebrun's contemporaries. Physical beauty was considered synonymous with moral perfection. One well-established way of creating a beautiful and pleasing composition is to hint at geometric shapes. The two personifications form a circle in the way their bodies and pieces' drapery come together. Alongside naturalism and idealization, there's restraint, the third characteristic of the neoclassicizing style. There are two types of restraint, compositional and emotional. Compositional restraint means a balanced composition in which no one figure dominates. This happens when we are encouraged to move slowly from one figure to another through glance and gesture, never lingering too long on anyone. For instance, Abundance could easily have dominated the composition. She is in the foreground, quite centrally placed, and wears light colours. But she looks at Peace, and so directs our gaze to her. Peace faces Abundance and holds her with both hands. Peace also looks at Abundance, and so returns our gaze back to her. In this way, we are discouraged from lingering too long on either figure. The composition is also restrained in that there are only two figures, neither one full length, set against a plain background. This plain type of background stands in contrast to earlier Baroque and Rococo art, which is unrestrained and complex. For example, this painting by Corrado Giacinto from around 1750 also shows two female classical personifications, Peace and Justice. They are full-length figures. Instead of a plain background, they are depicted among clouds, architecture, vegetation, and numerous active figures. Emotional restraint is evident when the figures are not involved in any dramatic thoughts, feelings, or actions. When this painting was created in 1780, people in France were challenging the authority of the monarchy, which led to the French Revolution in 1789. Vigée Lebrun painted several portraits of Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France, so she was close to the monarchy. She could have opted for an emotionally charged patriotic painting, clearly supporting the monarchy. Instead, she chose a calm, timeless, and non-narrative moment inspired by classical Roman art.